The CT side on Dust2 can quickly become overwhelming to play if you're playing incorrect setups or rotations. The core issue in this regard is that you essentially need 7 players to cover the entirety of the map, where 3 guys are required for long, at least 1 for short, 1 for mid and 2 on B if you want to stand any chance against the B rush. So in this video I'm gonna show you how you can set yourself up for success by nailing the early stages of Dust2's CT side. First off, in comparison to other maps, the spawns on Dust2 are quite important. So this basically just means if you have the top spawn or the second best spawn for A long, you kinda have to go towards the A long areas. Now for the third A long player, it doesn't really matter whether it's the third, fourth or fifth spawn that's going to support them. And for the mid and B player, this also doesn't matter. But let's start with the 3 A long players. Now, first off, for the A long guys, you kind of want to deny the T's all access towards the A long areas. And how you can go about this is by, first of all, just simply throwing an incendiary towards the A long doors like so. And this forces the T's to either cross the incendiary and take a lot of damage, or just stay inside the A long doors and concede this area for the early stages of the round. However, be aware that if the T's have the best spawn towards the A long doors, the best spawn is actually able to cross the Molotov without taking a lot of damage and potentially cross behind the blue container. So how the timing approximately works out is like, obviously if you have the best spawn and you are playing on the CT side, you want to, at the start of the round, be looking towards the wall like so, in order to dodge all flashes from the T's that are raining over this wall right here. So you're looking in towards the wall, you just throw the incendiary, and by the time the incendiary is halfway through, the T is about to jump out the A long doors. Now you actually need to be kind of careful, since if the top spawn is holding you with an orb, he might actually be able to get the shot off. But this is where your third guy, your guy that had the worst spawn out of you 3 guys towards the A long areas, is supporting you. So as the third guy at the start of the round, you just want to line yourself up in front of this corner right here, look a tiny bit above the green side like so, and just before your top spawn is about to throw the incendiary I've shown you, you just throw a left click flash. And the reason being, if I'm just pretending I'm a T and I'm standing inside the incendiary, holding for the T to throw the incendiary, if I'm rethrowing the flash, I'm getting fully flashed and will most likely not hit him. Now, afterwards, after you've thrown the incendiary, the first guy gets back behind cover, and the second guy also at the start of each round, you're just running backwards towards the A long area. The third guy is giving you a flash like so, where just looking at this pillar here and go up until you hit the cable, do a left click throw, and together with this flash, the 2 of you towards the A long area can wide swing and clear the remaining areas between the A long doors and the blue container. Now let's suppose instead of holding you with an orb, the best spawn of the T's did cross towards the blue container and is now holding an off angle like so. If you just pick him with the support flash your third guy is throwing, he's gonna be absolutely full flashed and won't stand a chance against you. So if you pick together with this flash, you are easily able to clear out all of the areas between the A long doors and the blue container. And if you want to go really sure that no one is hiding behind the blue container, the second guy can throw a Molotov like so, together with the incendiary that the first player has thrown towards the A long doors. And this guarantees that if he is running out, he has to be standing in front of the blue container right here. And how you want to proceed from here is quite simple. So basically you just want to have one guy holding down the A long area and the other guy rotating back towards the side. Now it's only really important that the guy that is staying is saving his smoke for the later stages of the round, whereas the guy that is rotating back towards either CT or the A side is going to smoke off the A long doors for his A long player. And then the A long player can play pretty much anywhere. You can play in pit, you can play in the plateau, you can play an off angle back here towards the blue container, you can play close, you can maybe even ask the other guy to boost you on top of the blue container, whatever really. And once the smoke fades, you're just going to re-smoke the A long doors, and again, watch for any sneaky moves from the T's, that they are not crossing through the smoke towards the blue container or whatever. And then how you want to proceed. The third guy that has thrown the support flashes, you are now responsible for kinda watching the A short area and playing from behind side. You can also, if you have an orb or anything, play Goose, but Goose is kinda a one and done position where you maybe get one frag and then you're kind of doomed. So I'd not recommend playing goose too much. So a really strong angle is like this headshot position here, or you can also play from back here and hold an off angle like so, whatever really. However, if the catwalk area is confirmed clear by your mid player and you're really feeling yourself, we can also try to play a more offensive position like so, where I just try to go for one pick and then fall back down here and rotate back towards side. Or alternatively, you can also maybe try to jump up here on top of these boxes and try to do the same. Just try to get one pick and fall back towards side and play as I've just mentioned before. And then for the second best spawn towards long that is now rotating back towards here, you just need to assess the current situation of the round. Like you have one guy in mid and this guy should be watching the A short areas. Now if the T's didn't smoke off A short and he's a clear vision towards the catwalk area and there is no one on short yet, you're supposed to rotate towards the CT areas and help out your mid guy in order to kind of free him from his responsibilities and make him more freely available if the B player needs help. Otherwise, if A short is smoked off and you have no information over the catwalk areas, you can just stay in a position like so that allows you to help out your guy on side to fend off any short pushes, or if they're splitting A, you can also fall back towards long and fight together with your A long guy. This fully depends on you. Now, sometimes there are also scenarios where the T's are never going out A long, so you sending 3 guys there at the start of each round is kind of wasting resources. So what you can do instead in this case is just boost 2 guys on top of these boxes here and go for an aggressive move towards the A short area. So the best spawn in this case is just jumping on top of these boxes here, obviously with a bit of better movement than I have just showcased, and then just boosting the other 2 guys on top of here. And then, for instance, if you want to go for a quick peek towards mid, you can just self-flash yourself towards the mid areas like so, and try to go for a pick on a T on the top right side of mid. You can also peek further if the right side of mid is clear. If you have an orb, you can also try to boost the orb on top of yourself on this corner here, and he can try to go for a pick on the lower players. And then you can just kind of close off the A short areas by smoking them off and playing together behind the stairs like so. On top of the stairs you can also try to boost on top of these boxes and again try to fight over the smoke and just kind of shut off the short area. And for the third guy that was boosting you guys towards the A short areas, you can play onside or also towards the short areas, but preferably towards the onside areas where just kind of jiggling for anyone if they're going out along. You can also play behind these bags right here, just try to get a pick and then fall back towards the short area, where the idea is now that you kind of give the T's the A long areas. They are usually then gonna smoke off the cross and you're just fighting them when they are crossing towards side or when they are on side from the short areas, from behind these boxes here and from the short areas. And you just try to deny the plant, get some picks and then play the after plant scenario. For your mid player, it's dependent on whether they have a rifle or an orb, since if they have a rifle, they're most likely losing an aim duel against an orb that might be posted on suicide or the left side of the top mid areas. So this pretty much means you can't really feasibly go for any information whether A short is clear or not. You can, in the best case scenario, just go for some nice jiggles like so and just go for the information and then hold the passive angle towards the A long doors like so and just wait for the third guy or like the second guy from the 3 A long guys to help you out so you can play a crossfire like so. And in the case the T's are throwing the B split smoke, I'm just gonna simulate it like so, you're supposed to fall back towards the B side. You can jiggle and fight the areas in front of B, especially if your B player is throwing some flashes for you, but the idea here is kind of to box yourself in on the B side and fend off anyone from outside B and from the tunnels area, while the guys from A long, especially the early rotate, is making life difficult for the T's and tries to go for some picks. Alternatively, if you have an orb, it's way more feasible to actually get a pick on the T's in the early stages of the game, and this is also kind of game sense reliant. So at the start of each round, usually the B player is jumping across the doors like so, and what the B player wants to do is to give a call out whether there's a T posted on suicide towards the mid doors or not, and if a T is there, where they are holding. So if you're jumping across here and you spot him on the right side towards these boxes here, you're just calling right for your orb player. So this gives them the chance to like get a quick pre-fire peek off like so, and try to get the pick on the T. However, you don't need to do this. You can also just jump across, and then if you have the op, hold the top mid areas. And from here on out, it's kind of game sense reliant for how long you can be holding this angle, because getting a pick on this angle is quite simple, but you're really vulnerable from getting peeked from behind Xbox, or like rather from someone swinging from lower tunnels towards the Xbox right here. And hitting the flick from all the way up here to down there is kind of tricky. So usually this means you're holding this angle right here until you either hear that he's stepping towards the lower tunnels area, which is the point where you need to be really careful on which of these two angles you're holding. Or alternatively, if they're going silently towards lower tunnels, you kind of need to count the time and guess how long it takes the Ts from going from T-spawn all the way towards lower tunnels while they are also shift walking. So this kind of determines for how long you can be holding this angle. And from here on out, you can hold an angle like so that still allows you to get a pick of anyone going A short, but doesn't leave you as vulnerable towards the lower angle I've mentioned before. And just in case the Ts are smoking off mid doors, like with the smoke like so, that is the new meta smoke that also blocks this gap on top here, you can just, throw a nade like so towards the top areas of the catwalk. Obviously in this case I failed it, but you get the point, and deal some nice chip damage on the Ts. And then again, especially if you have the op, fall back and play from the window area or the construction area right here and just try to get a pick on the Ts. And last of all, your B player. As I've mentioned before, if you're jumping across, you just spot for anyone holding suicide and tell your mid player where they are holding and if they are holding. And from here on out, at the start of each round, you just pull out your incendiary and throw it towards the tunnels area. And from here on out, if the Ts are smoking the incendiary, you just want to follow it up with an HE and get yourself ready to fight. You also call for some help from your mid player. So if they're smoking the incendiary off and there are also some flashes coming, your mid player immediately needs to start throwing some support flashes right behind you so that you can actually fight against anyone that might be pushing out of the tunnels area. So basically in this case, as I've just mentioned, you throw the HE, you request the support flashes, and together with the flashes you just swing and hold for anyone that is pushing out the tunnels area. Especially a nice thing to do for the mid player if they are throwing the flashes a bit deeper than I just did. You're also blinding anyone that is still standing inside the tunnel area. So as you can see here, like if I'm trying to go out the tunnels area, obviously you're in a smoke, you will get fully flashed. So in this case, this can lead to a lot of hesitation for the Ts. However, in the case where the Ts are not rushing B, you can just wait for incendiary to dissipate and then follow it up with a deep smoke towards the tunnels area like so. And then just don't overexpose yourself, since the Ts are sometimes spamming the smoke and might luckily catch you off guard. You can just hold the smoke and maybe just do some spamming of your own, and then you just need to kind of assess the situation, what is currently going on the map. So let's say if you have no information towards the A long area, or like A long is clear, there are no steps towards the A short areas, no one has crossed A short yet, then it's very, very likely that the Ts are standing somewhere in front of the B areas. So some aggressive plays towards the tunnels areas where just go through the smoke and go for some information are not really viable here. However, if the Ts try to take A long early, then that's usually a telltale sign that someone called like an A split or just an A long rush at the start of each round, which usually means the B tunnels area, is clear. So if the smoke is still laying there, and again if there's a lot of action going on towards the A short or the A long area, you can try to cheekily go through the smoke and take the tunnels area all by yourself, which basically solo wins you the round immediately. However, obviously this is a high risk, high reward play, since if anyone is holding you and catches you off guard, then the B side is pretty much open. So again, to be able to pull off plays like this, you really need to have a solid understanding of what is currently going on in the game, and especially on the other side of the map. Lastly, in the case the Ts are not rushing and you are not willing to make an aggressive play, your best bet is to hold an off angle towards anyone that might be coming out of upper tunnels towards the B side. So a nice example of this is just if you play all the way back here and just hold for anyone that might be sneaking out towards the tunnel here. You can also just try to kind of jiggle like so and go back, but don't overextend, since it's also quite likely that an orb is holding an angle like so and just waits for you to overextend. Some positions like this, some aggressive angles, is, as I've just shown you, is behind this barrel right here, where I just jiggle like so. You can also go on top of this box here and kind of look over the green box right here. You just need to be aware that they are able to actually, if they crouch walk, sneak towards the right side of upper tunnels and cross towards the car area. And you can also play like just behind this box and jiggle the position like so. And once you get the pick or you have contact, then your main responsibility is to stay alive as long as possible and delay the Ts as much as possible. You can do this also by just throwing some flashes or like bouncing them off the wall next to the tunnels areas, which will delay the Ts a considerable amount of time, since anyone that might be pushing out of the tunnels will get fully flashed. So yeah, there you have it, a short guide on how you can properly play the early stages of the CT site on Dust2. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this video helpful on your journey to becoming a better player. If that's the case, you can leave a like and subscribe for more educational CS content. As always, have a nice day and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.